Hi everyone, it's Maude from Keith&Maude. I am going to show you a little video of a section of our back garden that we have kind of made over. I'm gonna go with made over because before it was just land that had a lot of grass, a trampoline, and bags of rubbish. Really heavy clay soil. A couple of things that we did, we put a berm in to kind of elevate some drainage issues, and we have planted a lot of trees. So I'm going to walk you through in a video, but I just wanted to say hello and thank you for watching. Hi everyone, it's Keith&Maude. We grow in a USDA equivalent, like zone 9, but we're actually in a coastal climate here in the UK. So our weather is a little bit different. We've got a little bit more moisture and we can grow quite a few things. Not as much sunshine, but it's okay. So I'm going to show you the woodland garden area, and in my mind that doesn't start until you get to the steps. This is part of the pond area, although it does have trees in it too. It's got quite a few trees, but maybe that's another video. So we've got a Japanese maple right as you kind of come in. And I've got quite a lot of conifers, and I wanted some evergreen interest, and I also really love them. I just love the texture. And I also really like the kind of different kind of colors, especially the blues. I think they really kind of brighten up the space like that guy. Isn't it amazing? So come in, there is a path here. Also there's a lot of stone and stuff. I'm just using what we've got for now. A lot of this is what we pulled out of the ground that was here already, and I'm just using it because I would rather buy plants than hardscaping. But I think I'm gonna have to buy hardscaping soon because I'm running out of place to put plants. So woodland garden probably starts about here. Okay, and I might do a separate video that talks about some of these trees. Some of them look a little underwhelming right now because they're deciduous, and so they're losing kind of their leaves. And also, I am going to struggle to remember all of the names, but I will also kind of include those for you where I can. So this is a, this one here. So this is a yellow rain tree. It's got these beautiful cascades of yellow flowers, and the botanical name I kind of forget. I'm trying to make sure that I am only referencing things in botanical name, but it is difficult and my pronunciation is awful. So there is that. So we've got a spruce. This was actually I bought on sale, and it was looking so raggedy. I didn't think it was gonna make it, but I decided that every underdog deserves a chance. And it's got kind of a bald spot in the middle, and I'm not sure if that's gonna fill in. Ideally, I don't want it to get massively bigger. I just like it to fill in, and obviously I will keep it kind of pruned. I've got a few other plants, some erysimums down here, or wallflowers, and they are freaking awesome. Love them. They are really easy to propagate. They flower pretty much all year round. Mine aren't flowering right now because they gave them a hard prune back. I had a friend tell me that that was something that I needed to do. I've got some nepeta at the front and loropetalum. If you want to know why I've got okay, why I have loropetalum in with my nepeta is because Keith loves this, and if I don't put something else around it or in it, he will completely flatten it and eat all of it. So it's for his own protection, so he doesn't overdose. I've got a ginkgo biloba that's holding on to a few more of its leaves. This is, I think, Blagan is the name of it. I'm imagining that it will get quite tall and in a conical shape, but I think the autumn color is just going to be fabulous. So the walkway itself is something that I'll probably do another video on. If you're wondering why it looks the way that it looks, trust the process. I've got a project in mind, and I think I have a vision in mind, and I know how it's going to turn out, so trust the process there. We've got some hollies. I think that one is the name. I've forgotten the name. Some Conifers. So this one's gonna get big. The holly will get big. There's some shrubbery in here. There's also 2 of these trees here with the really beautiful autumn color. You can see it probably better on this one. These are June berries. That's how I know them. The other names for these, I told you I was going to murder it. I've got a couple of Mugo pines at the bottom. I love pines. I just don't have the space for them, so I think these are great. I did get catfished because that was supposed to be a Mugo pine, but that looks like an actual pine tree. You coming out to join us? Come on. You've got mud on your nose. Have you been truffling? Huh? Yeah. Beautiful autumn color. Love it. I've also got a autumn moon Japanese maple. It's a small one. Really hope it makes it. Really hope it makes it, because the idea is that it fills in this kind of space here. I've also just recently put this eucalyptus back here. I think it's Gunny Francis Blue. It's a little bit airier, which is really nice. Originally I had it in a pot, loved it, but I felt like A, I needed something back here, B, I needed something evergreen, and C, it was desperate to go in the ground. This could get massive, but again, this is one of those ones that I'm planning on keeping more shrub-like, probably no longer or no taller than the top of the fence. This tree here is one of my absolute favorites. It is a type of Japanese cedar. It's very soft. It changes its color to red color in autumn, which I absolutely love. It smells good, and it just beautiful. Look at it. I think this one will get quite tall if I let it. I'm going to try to keep it pruned in a little bit more of a slender way. And the bark is absolutely stunning. Really nice. A couple of other things that we've got in this area. So we have sequoia in the back. So this one should be losing all of its leaves. It's a weeping variety. I'm going to keep it quite small. I know they can get really big. There is a hardy hibiscus back there that the slugs have kind of really chomped down on. This one here is my favorite. If you've ever seen Ever After, this one is Nicole. I call it Nicole de Lancre from the movie. So I saw the tag, I had to get it. Do you ever do that? Do you shop by tag name? I do it all the time. Keith does it too, don't you, Keith? Yeah. A couple things I don't like in this bed, but again, I'll cover that in another video. Another holly. There's quite a few Japanese maples that are kind of put through the garden. This one here is one called Starfish. It has a really cool leaf texture where the leaf kind of curls under, and I absolutely love it. Mr. Maude picked this out. At first, I was like, what are you doing? I've seen it in ground. I've seen it in spring. So grateful. I also had another Japanese maple here, which I feel like I've lost to wilt. So I'm really bummed about this, because it was a beautiful weeping red. I think it was Garnet. And it was stunning all summer. But I don't know if something got at the roots, caused damage. I did see some slugs on this, and I thought, well, would they eat it? And I know you're supposed to be able to tell wilt by cutting the branch in half and seeing a dark circle. I haven't really seen that, unless I'm not really sure what I'm looking at, and that's totally possible. I'm going to leave it in the ground. I'm going to see if it comes back. If it does, I'll be over the moon. If it doesn't, I'm going to be really sad. So sad. This little guy, super cute, or she, I'm calling her a she, because it doesn't matter. It can be whoever they want to be. Hi, Keith. This is papoose, I think. It's tripled in size. It has some fresh new growth in a blue color that I really like, and it fades to kind of an olivey, kind of electric color, which is so fun. Underneath here, it doesn't look like much. I've just recently transplanted some sweet box. Sarcocoa, Confucia, and what was the other variety? I think it was Jewel. I'm not sure. A couple of Ogon grasses, which I absolutely love this color. looks great, and I'm trailing kind of a river through. And then we've got a weeping birch tree, which I am training over into an arch. I didn't intend to do this when I first got it, but I could only stake it so high. But the top of my ladder doesn't even reach to like there. So you put safety first, right? So I decided that actually I'd carry it over and create an arch. And I think my vision for this is that when you're standing here, you have this birch tree that creates a room. So I've tried to divide this space into rooms. I've read that that is what you do. Also from an interior design point of view, you know, you want to define different spaces so that it's a little bit more interesting. And that's what I tried to do. So I will keep you posted on this. But if you're wondering why it's not a perfect curve, I didn't have anyone holding the bottom of the ladder, and Keith is not a very good holder of the bottom of the ladder, so I did what I could. So I need to get up there and fix it. This is probably my crowning glory. This is absolutely stunning. It is probably one of the most beautiful redbuds I have ever seen. The color all year round is just amazing. I haven't got a chance to see it flower. It is fairly young. This was probably the first most expensive, well, this was the first expensive thing that we put in ground. And I kind of have it staked up still because there's a lot of wind in this coastal climate. So some stuff is staked in a weird way or in a funny way. And you know, I'm just waiting for them to fill in. Back behind it, you were probably going to have issue or umbrage with this, but this is a staghorn sumac. I know in some areas they can sucker really bad and send a bunch of runners, and you know, they're quasi-invasive. However, there is, behind this fence, there is a concrete barrier that goes quite deep. I'm convinced that's enough to keep it in check, and I've planted very densely, so I'm also hoping that that makes a difference too. The idea is that this kind of gets pruned back, this goes up above, the redbud sits underneath, and in the corner here, this is I'm gonna have to pop it on the screen. I talk about it all the time, but I got it for a couple of reasons. It's a tulip poplar, is the kind of American name that it's known for. It's supposed to flower in spring with these kind of big orange cut flowers, so it'd be interesting to see how this goes. But it's conical. It gets really big. It'll be taller than that tree. You know, apparently the guy that sold us this said that it'll never get that tall in our lifetime. But the growth rate that I've seen on it so far probably suggests that that is untrue, but we will see. One of the main things that I love about it is the leaf shape. They look fun and different. They have an amazing autumn color. It turns a brilliant yellow, even more so than I think the ginkgo. And it's a lot more visible because the leaves are bigger. The bark's really nice. So it's a really nice kind of cornerstone in the back. This guy here is a Persian silk tree. It was raggedy AF when we bought it. It was not looking very great, but this was our anniversary tree. You can see it's got a really nice kind of bronzy chocolate red color, and the idea is that it kind of hangs over this little seating area, and I think it's going to be slow growing. I don't think it's going to be as kind of voracious as the normal green one. We have the normal green one, and I think I'm going to have a time keeping that in check, but the color is lovely. I think the structure is going to be nice, and it's our anniversary tree. Which, by the way, when I was planting it, I was really worried that it wasn't going to survive and what that meant for our relationship. Was that an omen? But it's hanging in strong, so there we go. A little bit of a metaphor for you. I've got a couple of other things. I've got a Kojonomai cherry here. I've got some yews in the back that I'm waiting patiently for them to fill in. We love the berries on them. They've got really nice texture. They're evergreen, and you know, they're very compact. We've got some Mexican orange bush in the back, choicea. I think this one's called Sundance, and again, I'm waiting for this to fill up. It's got a really nice chartreuse. I love chartreuse. It has a really nice chartreuse color to the new growth, and also it has a really lovely fragrance. I have been hit really hard this year with slugs. So hard. And I'm probably on their most wanted list because I think I've moved on to greener pastures. A lot of slugs and snails. It's not that I don't want everything in my garden. I do. I just want to be able to see what I paid for. So there's a balance there. There is some kind of Brennera that's kind of peaked in. It's struggling. I'm going to keep it going. I've started using coffee grounds near it. I think this is kind of working. I read somewhere that it's toxic to slugs and snails. I'm not using any chemicals, so I'm trying that. It seems to be working, but the idea is that there's a really nice kind of cooling drop of that kind of silvery white color, which I really like. There are a few plants that I would love to have in the garden. I just don't think I'm ever going to, like hostas and what have you. But the current slug population says no, I'm barely keeping these. And these were supposed to be not desirable by slugs. Total lie. I've got some heucheras and some azaleas that are kind of popped in. These azaleas, I bought it for £1. If you ever shop at Derby's, they do the pots and, well, not just Derby's, but all the garden centers, they do the pots and tubs, like 3 for $1, or three for a couple of quid. And there were 3 of them. So this one, and one over there. And I had them in ground for 2 years. And I said that if you don't flower, and then this spring, you're gone. And they started flowering. Hot pink, which is, I wouldn't have picked that, but it's nice. We've got an orange dream here, which this is the second orange dream I've had. I had one that was planted in a pot. It was in a pot that wasn't draining very well, and it died. So this is my second go. But again, I've got some dieback, and I'm gonna leave it alone because I don't, like I said, I don't know if it's predation or if it is a virus. There was another one of these kind of burnt looking sticks underneath, and I cut it. I had a look at it. It was completely green on the inside. There was no black. What is going on? Is it slugs? And then this is a butterfly. Again, this is another Japanese maple. I'm planning on the idea was to keep this one small. I know they're planted really close together, but the idea is to keep this one small and this one to kind of fill in. So keeping this one like a shrub. And I had a bit of that kind of dieback on this side, and then the whole tree bounced back. So again, is it well? I don't know. We've got some honeywort back here, some myrtle, which is a really nice kind of blue-green color that I'm really enjoying. A smoke bush that hasn't done massively well for me. I think it's a bit finicky. It looks a little iron deficient. I have fed it several times. I think maybe it's just struggling with the clay soil, or it just doesn't like its position. It's not done the smoke thing yet, but it is relatively new. It has really nice fall color. It's like this hot pink on the leaves, which is fun. So I think I'm going to leave it. There's some Pieris japonica in the back. In the back, I've kind of filled in with ferns and natural grasses. One of my favorite Japanese maples is back here, and it's going strong. And this one, if I can move my red bud. Sorry, excuse me. This is a Ryusen, and I'm training it to go a little bit higher. So I did that this year. Ryusen, and it's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. We've got another eucalyptus, so this is slightly larger. I've just recently cut this back. I'm trying to get it to fill in a little bit more. Really enjoy using these as small shrubs. The color is electric, and it's very cooling to all of the chartreuse. Loads of euphorbia, Miner's Merlot, absolute powerhouse, really easy to propagate. I bought one, and then now I think I've got like 5 just dotted around. This Japanese maple, it kind of settled in the ground a little bit, but I've kind of scooted all of the ground and soil away from it till I got to the base of the tree. I have seen a little bit of dieback on this one, and I don't know if it's because of sun damage, or slugs, or the soil's too moist, but I have amended everything, and it has put on growth. And it wasn't looking too hot when we bought it either. It was one from Dobby's. I got it on mega sale. I think I got it for like 70 quid, and all of the branches were tied together. So it took me a good year to kind of pull them away from each other. I haven't really pruned any of the top, but I've got loads of kind of new buds, so we'll see what this looks like. But this one's Skeeters Broom, and in the autumn it's supposed to get blood red. I haven't seen that yet. There are few more trees. This one is a Tibetan cherry. It's got a really nice peeling bark. You can see, maybe you can't see. Really nice peeling bark. And I'm trying to grow it in a multi-stem. So I've pruned back some branches to give me side shoots. So I think that will maybe take out some of the vigor of it, because this is, again, it's another tree that gets big. The woodland garden kind of carries on this way, although I think we're running out of trees. This is the Persian silk tree in green. This whole new section here is new this year, and I need to redo the staking, but the idea is that this just gently curves over, and there's a side shoot that goes that way and gives a little bit more shade to this, and then I'll keep it in that kind of two stem shape, and hopefully that'll keep it from getting too big. Apparently these aren't overly long living trees, but I think they'll probably see me out. We've got some Thujas, which I think I'll cover in another video. There's another Japanese maple. That one's called Bihu. It has an electric yellow bark, which I'm really enjoying. And this whole section here was new. This didn't fill in until the late summer, and I'm wondering if half of the Bihu got hit with the sun, and that's why I didn't kind of grow the same. So half of this tree is grown out, the other half hasn't, so we just have to wait and see what it looks like. There is, look at that color, isn't that amazing? Look. Beautiful. Stunning. Pine tree there, which is blue, and it's supposed to be vertical. I'm really waiting, really exciting to see this kind of peek out. I think it'll be a nice leaf texture difference. And in the middle, this one is Pittosporum. I forget the variety, but I love the black stems. It just looks so fresh. Some Verbena bonariensis here. There is another evergreen, so it's tucked away. It's actually kind of being swamped over, but that's okay. Eventually it will outcompete. This one is very vertical, not very wide, and again has that blue color. And I think it's going to get enough sun. So we'll see. This one I think is from New Zealand. This one's called a Sun King. It has yellow kind of trumpet flowers that dangle down. The slugs absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So much so that this was the leader, and they nibbled on it and predated it so much that it stopped growing off the top and sent a really strong vertical branch that way. And I've had to restake it so that that side branch becomes the new vertical branch, and that's the side branch. But the idea is that if the chicken coop is here, this kind of creates a nice kind of gentle kind of arch. There is a Paul Scarlet back there. So again, it should have some flowers and berries. It's his first year in the ground. I'm planning on growing a espalier against the fence, so it will take some time, I think, to fill in. And then we have a white birch here. This one is Jack Montii. I actually got this one from Dobby's for £20. Look how big it is. Still, absolute still. There were two. I almost bought the other one, but where was I going to put it? And the last tree that I want to talk about kind of in the woodland area is this beauty here. And sorry if the sun's really coming in. This one is absolutely one of my favorites. It's a weeping Siberian spruce. What I love about it is the underneath is blue. Look at that. Look, watch the color. Not really nice. The cones come out pinkish purple and then fade to brown. Mr. Maude did his back out helping me get this one in the ground. The hole is massive. It took all three of us to get it into the car. and it took all 3 of us to get it planted. This was probably one of the biggest trees that we've planted in terms of girth. But anyways, this is really the kind of woodland area that I wanted to show you, just showing you some of the trees that we put in, some of the bushes. There's some varieties and species that I didn't cover. I'll probably swing by and pick those up a bit later. But thanks for watching. See you next time.